Most shooters make you feel like a hero. Metro, on the other hand, makes you feel human, weak, afraid, desperate. Because in Metro, the world didn't end. It collapsed inward. The tunnels don't reward skill, they punish mistakes. Radiation and mutants don't care how brave you are. And every bullet you fire is a reminder that survival always comes at a cost. And today, I want to explain why the Metro series feels so different, and why it's one of the most special FPS experiences ever made. In a time where multiplayer shooters like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo were dominating the landscape of FPS during the Xbox 360 era, in 2010, 4A Games took the risk and made something different. An atmospheric, fully story-driven, and immersive survival shooter based in a post-apocalyptic Moscow. But Metro 2033 was much more than that. Upon very first booting up Metro 2033 and completing the prologue, you're sent back to RTM's makeshift apartment, and you will immediately notice that the world you are in tells a story without even giving you a narrative. Just taking a few seconds to soak up the environment tells you everything you need to know about RTM. The guitar chilling over there in the corner tells you that RTM is a guitarist, obviously, but upon further inspection, you'll notice the collection of postcards from all across the world. Also, you'll notice books from the old world before the Metro, symbolizing that RTM longs for exploration, something more than the dark tunnels of the Metro, and dreams of one day living on the surface. Once leaving RTM's apartment, you'll step into a shanty town of other makeshift apartments similar to RTM's, and will see firsthand how everyday life is like in the Metro. A wife locking her husband out of the house, proclaiming that she should have listened to everyone when they warned her about him. A father who doesn't know how to tell his son that his mother has passed away and she won't be returning, to a guitarist performing for his fellow tunnel dwellers. Small examples that prove that even after the bombs fell, there is still hope for humanity. Speaking of humanity, its downfalls also start pouring through the cracks of the Metro. Factions began to form, wars broke out, many lives were lost. Settlements were even burned to ash, proving that even after humanity survived a nuclear apocalypse, they will still form groups that oppose each other, fighting for their own selfish reasons rather than build up civilization together, solidifying that no matter what, humans can't help themselves but to cause their own conflicts, dividing each other over their different beliefs. Major factions in the Metro consist of the Spartan Order, which are elite soldiers tasked with protecting the Metro from external threats. They prioritize the survival of humanity over politics, and are willing to make brutal choices for the greater good. This is the faction that RTM is actually a part of. Then you have the Hansa, aka the Commonwealth, the most powerful economic military faction. They control most of the training all around the Metro. They're probably the biggest faction in the Metro, because their territory spreads far across the Metro. Then you have the Red Line, a neo-communist authoritarian state. The Red Line enforces ideology through propaganda, purges, and forced labor, believing control is the only path to survival. Then, some Metro dwellers had the bright idea to bring back a group of some real knuckleheads. You know those little rascals that ran Germany from 1933 to 1945? These morons brought back the Nazi Party, and they deemed themselves the Fourth Reich, a fascist neo-Nazi faction obsessed with genetic purity. They seek to exterminate mutants and what they deem impure humans to rebuild a twisted version of humanity. I guess it takes the apocalypse to bring back the worst in humanity as well, which is pretty fucked up. Anyways, humans aren't the only thing you have to worry about in the Metro. There's a wide variety of different mutants throughout each game that want to just bite RTM's limbs off, and you can become a Watcher's lunch in a split second. These mutants vary between huge mutated rats called lurkers that are fairly easy to deal with unless they swarm you, to demons that are giant mutated bats that conquer the sky and will swoop down, pick you up and drop you, or take you to their nest and feed you to their children. Which, holy shit, that's terrifying. You can even go to one of these nests in Metro Exodus. What makes Metro's mutants different from other games is that they have very unique features and actually have thought behind developing them. For example, the librarians are seemingly a massive mutated gorilla. They're intelligent enough to read books and set up basic traps. They can even mimic human speech. And despite being able to rip you apart, they aren't that hostile. If they detect you, stay calm, stand your ground, keep eye contact. They'll eventually size you up and just go on their way. But if you try to run or just turn away from them, you're screwed. But if mutants weren't terrifying enough, there's rumors of unseen forces that are lurking in the shadows. Echoes of the souls lost to the Metro. And sorry for butchering this name. When passing through what's left of the Torvandevskia station with Khan, where it's said that there's strange disappearances and all types of paranormal events occur, Khan states to us, "It appears that the devastation we brought upon ourselves was complete. Heaven, hell, and purgatory were automatized as well. So, when the soul leaves the body, it has nowhere to go, and must remain here, in the Metro. A harsh, but not undeserved atonement for our sins. This is also where you first come across the anomaly, a mysterious floating orb of light radiating electricity that roams around the Metro that humans and mutants alike fear. It will immediately decimate anyone or anything unfortunate enough to be caught in its path." But what strikes the most fear out of any Metro dweller is the Dark Ones. Humanoid beings thought to be descended from humans that survived the nuclear apocalypse on the surface, and they have adapted to the heavy radiation that the surface emits. They began their existence living in what looks like a giant twisted beehive, located in the Botanical Gardens metro station on the surface. They can enter your mind and drag out your innermost fears and project them through hallucinations. And you pretty much just don't stand a chance against these guys. Though they are rarely seen in the Metro, but survivors tell horror stories about them all throughout the Metro. When the Dark Ones attack your home station, Alex, your stepfather, proclaimed to Hunter the Ranger horrified. Even when you don't see them, the Dark Ones are there. Fear, that's their weapon. That's what made the Nosalis run through the tunnel like rats. The Dark Ones are not simple mutants. They are Homo Novus, the next step in evolution. You've never heard about survival of the fittest? Guess what? We lost. Then there's another legend amongst the people of the Metro, the Invisible Watchers. They're said to be observing and orchestrating all the inhabitants of the Metro's every move. But saying more about the Dark Ones and Invisible Watchers drags us into spoiler territory. And I don't want to ruin the story for people who haven't played the Metro titles yet. But if you're into that kind of thing, I will be making some retrospective videos where I will go over the entire story of each game as well as the lore, so don't forget to subscribe to see those. Back to the video. Metro's environmental storytelling and atmosphere alone sets the stage for Artyom's journey, and this type of storytelling extends to all Metro games. 4A Games' risk in 2010 paid off, proving that single-player, story-driven games can still succeed. And they released 2 more compelling games, and 3 if you count Metro Awakening by Vertigo Games, spawning tons of fans and communities along the way. But the magic of Metro doesn't just stop at environmental storytelling and atmosphere. The Metro titles also have impeccable traditional storytelling as well, dragging you through the depths of the Metro and the chilling radiated surface, searching for answers. Artyom's dream of exploration and searching for a safe place to call home outside of the Metro. And without Artyom ever saying a word in gameplay or cutscenes, only in loading screens between missions. I believe this is done by design to immerse you into feeling like you're stepping into Artyom's boots and making his journey your own. And speaking of atmosphere and immersion, 4A Games was founded by former Stalker developers after leaving GSC Game World. And it shows in the form of deep atmosphere and immersion. Playing through the Metro series feels like you are truly there, struggling to survive, praying that you can find a replacement filter for your gas mask, and clinging on to the last 30 seconds you have to breathe before that spicy air consumes your lungs. All while hoping the last 2 buckshot in your shambler will take down the mutant that's circling you. Survival is more intense the higher in difficulty you go. Choosing Ranger, or if you're a masochist, Hardcore Ranger, makes items and ammo much more scarce. Enemies are more alert. You can go down in about 2 or 3 bullets, but also you do an equal amount of damage. Oh, and did I mention they remove your entire HUD? But in reality, Metro games are meant to be played with no HUD, due to the fantastic diegetic feedback and UI. I honestly feel like this is how 4A games wanted the Metro titles to be experienced. But to reach a more casual audience, they had to dial the difficulty back and create a user-friendly HUD for lower difficulty options. And I mean, I don't blame them. Not everybody enjoys a hardcore experience. I feel like every gamer should experience Metro, because there's something in it for everyone. But back to the diegetic feedback in UI, which pushed the immersion of the Metro titles over the next level. RTM will start gasping when he starts to breathe in toxic radiated air, and your Geiger counter will start ticking like crazy to let you know you need to apply your gas mask, or also when your filter needs swapped out. Your watch has a little blinky light on it to tell you when you're under visible light, aiding you in stealth situations. RTM also sets a timer on his watch each time you swap your filter, just in case the heavy breathing wasn't enough to symbolize that he needs to swap his filter out. If RTM's injured, you'll also start to breathe heavily. Your screen will darken, pulsate, and get bloody, and RTM will start to even limp. You also have a badass bullet lighter that not only burns away the spiderwebs that slow you down, it also blows smoke towards your next objective. You can also pull out your notepad for details on your next objective. And the notepad also holds a compass that points you in the direction of your next objective as well, just in case the lighter wasn't enough.
You also have to make sure that your batteries are charged on your flashlight using a makeshift battery charger. And some weapons are actually air operated, so you have to actually pump them up.
But yeah, you get the point by now. Some pretty innovative shit for 2010. But these features immerse you deeply into Metro like no other games do, even to this day. Metro doesn't just immerse you, it also judges you silently. There are hidden morale choices you make throughout each game. There may not be a good boy, bad boy meter, but it's there, even though you can't see it.
And all of these decisions directly impact the ending of each game.
However, there is a small prompt when you do something that impacted your morale. Your screen will briefly flash bright for good and dark for bad. It will also play a sound cue that I can only describe as water droplets, and you can't miss it. Actions that help your morale are obviously kind acts like sneaking up and clunking people in the back of the fucking head instead of slitting their throats, handing a stray bullet over to the station's beggar, sticking around for a conversation, exploring off the beaten path, and much more. To do the whole cool bad guy thing, do the opposite, and you'll get the bad ending. But it can be difficult to get the good ending, so be careful what you do. I went through 2033 very carefully trying to get the good ending and still got the bad ending somehow. But the bad ending is canon anyways, so I still win. All this circles back to RTM being a silent protagonist by design. RTM doesn't speak through gameplay, because you already are. You experience the Metro yourself. You are RTM, and you hold his destiny through your choices, and how you take on the Metro throughout your journey. The Metro trilogy is hope suffocated by darkness, a story of humanity clinging on to the belief of a brighter future, even when it seems all hope is lost. All the games and stories hold up, and the Redux versions make the graphics more modernized without taking away the Metro's magic. I 100% recommend anyone play through the trilogy for its unique journey, storytelling, atmosphere, and immersion. The Metro series is really something special.
Let me know down in the comments what makes Metro special to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as I'll be covering all things Metro, as well as the upcoming Metro title. Also, check out my other Metro video on everything we know about the upcoming Metro in development. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.